want to jump right in today. So everyone in our network, hopefully you've been to one of our events before. If not, we start everything we do. We take a nice big breath in. And right at the top of the breath, there's a space. Just drop into that space. Hopefully some folks that were on yesterday, welcome back to folks that were here yesterday. I suggested taking a couple of moments. The underlying essence foundation to all the things we're going to share today about our new Wi-Fi technology, about our laser technology, about the Stillpoint smoothie, all center on one key reference, one key principle. And that principle is that our universe is a neutral experience. Only our planet and star have a little bit of a polarization experience going on where there's a back and forth. Back and forth. The vast majority, 99.999999999% of the universe is all space. Neutral. Energy. And so to me, the key to living in this little bubble, into this little experience here of our reality, which is the 0000001, which by the way, that 0000001 is all of the stars and planets and galaxies and matter. So our planet amidst that is much, much, much smaller. And so to me, in my reality, in my experience, I'm looking constantly for how can I be in this experience of our planet, which is basically compressing energy down into matter, spinning around, pulling energy into matter, coalescing into elements, cells, organs, bodies, physicality, which is great experience. I am not the kind of yogi or person who does not love and appreciate this physical form. This is a phenomenal treasure of the universe that we have here. And yet, from my perspective, I don't lose track of the reference of the reality that while I'm inhabiting this treasure of a vehicle of a body, this treasure is not ultimately who I am. Who I am is guided by where my perception rests. This is key. This is so important, and this is kind of the underlying start point of every seminar I do. You know, perception is like a channel, and you flip channels around and pick different things you want to experience. Well, same thing here. If you want to experience just being the body, well, then you identify with being the body. If you want to have a reference of personality and some sense of, then you organize around that. In my life, I like to organize perception around the vastness of the energy of the universe and beyond. And so each of the things that we're going to lay out today are simply tools. And I want to start off and qualify that each of these things that we're going to share, whether it's the Stillpoint process, whether it's the Wi-Fi technology, whether it's the laser, whether it's quantize, they're each a different tech tool or technology that I use daily to open up this bubble and invite this neutral energy, this neutral essence to start to come in and fill this space. As I often say in our seminars, I often share in our seminars, it's now proven science that there is an energy field that surrounds the body. This energy has been studied in Russia, it's been studied in many places. In this field of energy, this envelope, they've now found, diagnostic with equipment, comes out 5 to 10 feet on most people. 5 to 10 feet. They've studied people and they found that people with a strong field of energy are way less prone to chronic pain, depression, autoimmune health challenges than people who have strong quantum fields. So if you have strong quantum field, less apt to have health challenges, disease. If not so strong quantum field energy, people are more prone to have challenges and health situations going on. So our whole approach, and I share this at every seminar, I start every seminar with perception. This is the key technology. Lasers, we're going to get to that in a moment. Yet from my perspective, the key technology here that we're working with is perception. This is the powerful technology, perception. Never want to lose track of that. Whatever thing I use, it's great. I love it. It's helpful. It's a great blessing. And yet, at the end of the day, I always come back and make sure this is the thing that I am working on and constantly cultivating and guiding, perception. It's key. Whatever you put this on, it's just like computer. You put it on thinking, you're going to get thinking. You put it on emotions, you're going to focus. It's like a tuner. You tune to emotions, you're going to get emotions. You have challenges, concern about the body, you're going to get a lot of challenges with the body. You tune it to the energy of the universe, neutrality, which to me is the scalar, is the prana, is the chi, is the universal energy, spirit, whatever name you want to give it. It's that substance, that essence, that thread that weaves together everything from the stars to the cells to the animals to the elements to our bodies to the entire fabric of the galaxy and the universe. And so to me, I'm constantly looking, well, how can I tune perception to invite this inrush of energy to come in and to find solutions and to strengthen this experience. And so today, before we shift gears to laser, I want to start a little bit differently. Yesterday we did extensively on lasers. Simple process. Everyone go ahead and take a nice big breath in. And just hold at the top of the breath. Take a breath in. You can take a moment at the top of the breath, or you can breathe out, relax, let go, and right at the bottom of the breath. In between, breath in, out, in. There's a space at the top and there's a space at the bottom. What we want to start to use our perception for is to drop in. As I'm resting here in neutrality, to me it's kind of like, it feels like holding the breath. In fact, one way you can try this if you're new is just drop in, hold the breath for a moment, and then relax. The breath will keep going. It keeps regulating on its own, like when you sleep. Yet for me, as I'm resting here in this space between the breath, see if you notice anything. I notice as I'm holding this space. This is a key principle, piece to all of our seminars, our live streams, the upcoming retreats we do. This is the foundational skill. If you learn this today, I tell you, this is the most powerful thing I'm going to share today, by far. You hold this space right here. This is a muscle like anything else. You practice this, it gets strong. You don't practice it, it doesn't get strong. For me, I'm holding this space. As I'm holding this space, it feels to me like I'm plugged in to the neutral energy and essence. Energy, neutrality is filling in this space. In fact, to me, it feels like I'm being plugged into a spigot, and this area is like a big balloon, and it's filling up. I'm just holding right here in neutrality. You know, I talk a lot to folks about dropping into Stillpoint. Yet there's another element to dropping into Stillpoint. You can drop in here, and then you can hold it in a way where this space is getting filled. And that's what I want to practice right now for one quick moment. It's very subtle. Basically what we're saying is when we do this, we're basically saying with our perception, well, hold on, physical stuff. And we just very slightly, it's like fine-tuning until, it's kind of like the analogy is like when you're putting air into a tire and the pin is not right there and it's going shh, and then you find that right point and you hold that right point. All right, at a certain point, as I covered yesterday, and I often do, this field of energy gets strong. Like right now, for me, this is strong now. If I was doing this at home, I would have dropped in for a moment, taken a breath, dropped into Stillpoint, held this space until I get right here. And I call this opening the quantum field. In our seminars, this is called opening the quantum field. First step in our Stillpoint process, being able to drop into Stillpoint. You cultivate that. That's a muscle. You get comfortable dropping into Stillpoint. It leads to the second step, opening quantum field. This quantum field is now nice and open. I liken this to checking your computer every day. How many occasions do you check your computer, your laptop, your pad? People check 50, 100 occasions a day. Oh, what's going on there? They look at their friends, their emails, their pictures, their videos, their folders, their files, their movies, their music. Well, how often do you check this quantum field? For me, I say every 10 occasions on the computer. Make a little note, put it up, hang it on your computer. Every 10 views on your computer. Start off every 100 views. And open this screen. I do this every day. I do it 2-3 occasions a day. Here's what I want you to do now. This is a very simple process. Look around this space right here. Is there any problems? Is there any issues going on? Let this be a daily practice. Is there any issues or challenges going on in this screen? Start with the body. Just take a quick scan. Close the eyes. We're going to get to lasers in one moment. If you understand this, you're going to understand our approach to using lasers. This is the foundation for how I use lasers. So first thing you want to do, very quickly, look, is there anything going on in your body today? Any stress? Is there any injury? Is there any pain? Right here in the body. If you can't feel any, is there a health challenge you've been working on? Digestion, memory, aging, too much thinking, maybe an organ problem. Well, I find an area, right away I find an area in my body that's a little tender. So here's what I want you to do. Go with your perception up to that area. And just say to that area, aloha, welcome. Just welcome it. From the place of stillpoint, from the place of neutrality, go up to that area and just say to those cells, with your perception, go right over there and simply say, welcome. As soon as I welcome the area that I'm working on, my body unwinds. I feel it start to go like this. It kind of goes, takes a sigh. Kind of feels a little bit like if you ever had a massage or if you ever had a network chiropractic or a cranial adjustment. I welcome that area and the area goes into what I call unwind. Kind of like you have a little area and you pinprick it and everything starts flowing out. Same thing, you got a little area, just welcome it, it starts to flow, it starts to unwind. Until a moment later, for me, it drops me into still point. See, this is the language. If you get comfortable, there's tension, stress, we welcome things, they unwind, dissolve, they come back into neutrality. That language we are going to go over again and again today, especially when we get to the lasers, so hold tight. If you understand that language, contraction, what yogis call karma, I call it polarity. You unwind, welcome that polarity to unwind. That polarity begins to shift, it begins to dissolve, positive, negative. At a certain point it dissolves. Positive and negative have now had their chance to have a full dialogue. They shift to neutrality. Those are the three key variables of this universe. Positive, negative, neutrality. So, I go to this area, I welcome it, it unwinds, contraction, positive, it starts to dissolve, negative, drops into neutrality. All right, now look around once more. Is there anything else going on? Now look larger in the quantum field. Step out a little bit past the body. We started off with one body process right there. Now we go a little further. Is there anything going on in this space emotionally? Any challenge this week? Anything going on with a loved one, a friend, someone not doing well? A relationship, something with your work? A lot of things going on in people's lives. I'm sure everyone can find something. I can dig in. I can find a bunch of things in each of the, in the physical and the challenges. Whatever the challenges, pull it up onto the screen here. Pull it up. Whatever the challenges, just say, oh, great, come on up, welcome. And again, aloha, welcome it. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, don't send it energy, don't laser it, don't fix it. Simply welcome it as though it's a long-lost friend that's been holding something very dear for you until you are ready for it. Well, I pulled up something, a little challenge, welcomed it. As it welcomed, I can tell my body's unwinding. We call a still point response. I get to that a little later. And my body starts to unwind, starts to dissolve, starts to neutralize. It doesn't take long. When you have something like this and you prick it, it doesn't take that long for stuff to come out. We're not doing some big fancy process. And right there, I drop into neutrality. Two things I just did. Physical body found something, welcomed it. Something else, and I'm resting here now in still point, back in this space of the quantum field. I'll tell you, most people go through life every day and they find a couple new things to grab on and hold on to. Yogis call it karma. Every day, new injury, new cell memory, new emotion, new thing to believe in or belief or program. In my life, every day, I take a moment, carve some space out, just like you do with your garden. You get the weeds out, the twigs. You make sure everything's nice there. Your living room, you get the trash out, you clean it up. Everyone does this already. Computers, you clean up if there's any bugs. You delete some stuff, get your picture on there. Every day, check in with this space. As soon as I do that, I feel energy. The reason I do this every day is I feel after I clear a couple things, everyone check in for one moment at the base of your spine. For me, I feel a pulse. We call this the sacred pulse. There's a sacred muscle at the base. It's the same muscle you use to go to the restroom. It's the same muscle that doctors write about. The PC muscle. Kegel exercises. Same root muscle. It's like a tree. You have a biggest nerve plexus in the body down here. Most people don't even ever understand. It's like having a car and not understanding how to accelerate. This nerve muscle is the most important thing in the body. It's the root. So squeeze it gently. Squeeze. After I clear some things, for me, I feel it starts to go like this. It squeezes a little, and then it relaxes a little bit. In my life, I don't even squeeze it. It just, I feel this pulsation. And then it relaxes a little bit. And then I squeeze it a little bit. So what are we doing? Positive, negative. Positive, negative. Now, as you go in, drop it right in the space in between, in and out. Drop it right in the space in between. See, this is the same language we've been talking about. Positive, negative, neutrality. Same dialogue. So what do? Breath. In, out, neutrality. Base. In, out, drop it in neutrality. As soon as I drop it in neutrality, this is third step in Stillpoint process. First one, drop into Stillpoint. Second step, open up quantum field. Third step, squeeze the sacrum. We call this activation. Activate. As I hold this in neutrality right here, energy starts flowing up the spine for me. We call this activation. Energy is flowing up the spine. This is my goal every day. If I don't clear some things every day, whether with the laser, with the Wi-Fi, or with the quantum field clearing we just did, then I don't feel this energy floating up the spine, flying up the spine. I don't feel this energy up the spine. By the way, what is the medical symbol? Scalar wave, positive, negative, central column, neutrality, staff of life, glands at the top, wings, right, left brain, frontal lobe, energy flying up the body. This symbol, this Western medical symbol, is the essence of every alchemy, yoga, healing, shaman, mystic tradition the world over. Every single one understands this energy. I just cannot say how important this is. To me, the whole reason why I do everything else is so I can get here. It's like polishing a diamond. If I don't do that other stuff throughout my day, at certain junctures, at certain places, then energy gets like this. I tell you, yogis say that most people, the energy, you have so much energy, and that energy, it's like a vase. If the energy is coming in a vase and it's going out, yogis call this the outgoing senses. And they say the biggest problem that most people have is that their senses are going out, which means that their energy is draining and going outward from the body. At a certain point, yogis say that changes. We cultivate that to change. And when that changes, they call it the root locks. They call it the bonds, B-A-N-D-H-S, bonds. Mula bond is the root lock, is the very thing we're talking about, squeezing this area and holding it. I want you to try something. As you're holding this area at the very root, at the base, notice something. Try to think. Try to see if you can hold a thought while you're holding this root. It's not possible. Try to see if you can tune into an emotion while you're holding this root at the base of the spine. Can't do it. Now, as you're holding this root at the base of the spine, see if you can find an area of tension or pain in the body. Any pain in the body. See if you can find anything in the body that's uncomfortable as you're holding this. It's like a little sapling tree. You cut out the ball around the tree, and you carry it. Well, if you cut that tree at the bottom and try to move it, it's not moving. It's not going to grow. You take that out. You hold this at the root, this whole muscle, nerve plexus, biggest one in the body. Hold it and try to feel an area of tension or pain. I can't do it. It's not possible. I tell you, this right here, this is like a magic button. It's like a magic button. You cultivate holding this in this place of neutrality. There are different views about this, yet my view is you activate this and it activates nonlinear. This is the muscle that activates the neutral flow of energy along the spine and in our relativity. Well, you go into thinking, and thinking, guess what thinking does? Thinking does the opposite. Thinking activates polarity, right brain, left brain. You want to dissolve that? We had someone at a seminar, came to a seminar recently, and they asked me, they were still going to Stillpoint. This happened at the Vegas retreat, at the beginning of the retreat, someone well seasoned in our network who's been to many of our events. And they said, they go to Stillpoint, and the thoughts still come. He still has some thinking that comes up, and some considerations, and not sure he understands it, not sure he gets it. And so I said, okay, good. Well, hold still point, and now squeeze the root. He squeezed that root. I checked in. I said, you check in. You get back to me, and you practice this, and tell me if the thinking still comes in when you do this. He looked at me. He had a smile on his face, and the thinking was gone. The thinking was gone. And so I mean to say this, I often I don't always go deeper initially. This is profound. Just like I tell people to hold still point, that's scratching the surface. I don't only go around holding still point all day long. There are some situations where I'm dealing with a tough situation. I say, still point's not going to work. I can't stay open to this individual who I'm dealing with or this situation because it's not going to work. So what do? I say, well, let's flip this equation. I hold this place. Now my energy is not open here and interfacing. Now my energy is like coursing here along my spine. That person wants to get all whipsawed. They're upset at me. It's like, okay, great. Go for it. I'm not even here anymore. I'm here in this state. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who I am. Third step. This is powerful. I tell some people, practice holding this every hour. Go through your day holding this root. Since I've been here back in Maui, in our dome, I mentioned yesterday we have this dome we live in here that's like this sacred geometry dome. It's like a temple. So I'm in there and it's like energy is like this until I lock the roots. And then I lock these roots in and energy just flows. It just cruises. All right, good. That's the third step. The fourth step I just want to mention, and then we're going to shift gears here. Ambrosia. When I cultivate this energy up along the spine, it comes up here and it starts to bathe the glands in the brain, the ambrosia, the nectar, what Carl Jung called secret of the golden flower, ancient Taoists, the elixir of life, the fountain of youth. In India, they call it amrita, the sacred compounds that get released in the pineal pituitary when the energy along the spine starts to open and flower. Fourth step in the process, activating ambrosia. Activating ambrosia. So this nectar, this flowering, this is key. I cannot say this enough. Every ancient system of wellness, the world over, whether it's the Tibetan Buddhist, they call it the rainbow body, whether it is the staff of life, whether it is the rainbow bridge, whether it is Kundalini, whether it is the shaman, every system understands that the key to health, to longevity, and ultimately to higher consciousness is understanding how to unify positive and negative, and activate. Yoga means unity. Activate this neutral flow of energy up into the brain to open up the glands, to open up the flowering, and to induce the nectar, the amrita, what we call the ambrosia process. So again, I've just walked through, simplified, 4 key easy steps to this process. 1, being able to drop into still point. Everyone come right back here for a moment. Drop back in still point. See? 2, you keep holding still point, and what happens? It opens up this space, this quantum field. In my life, I try to go through life and hold this space as much as I can. Well, at a certain point, you stay in this state, it activates the sacred muscle, sacred flow of energy, sacred pulse, wave of bliss up the spine. That energy up the spine nourishes the glands in the brain to open up the amrita, the nectar. This is now proven. It releases a compound in the back with DMT, PEA, harmalines, oxytocin, all sorts of key neural compounds that put us into the state of bliss, nirvana, samadhi, into a state where we are now one with the universe, and in a nice state. This is the goal that I use all these different tools for.